Hello marble collectors, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode we take the show on the road to lovely Kokomo, Indiana to crack the code on the elusive Kokomo Opalescent Glass marbles, which were only produced from about 1939 to 1943. This is part one of the series. We're here with Beth and Greg Morris, longtime Kokomo residents and longtime Kokomo collectors. So thank you for joining us, Beth, and let us take a good look at your stuff. But I noticed right off the bat the sizes of these particular pieces. A lot of these are 3/4.
Yeah, there's a gentleman at the rummage sale we went to. His best friend was an operator at Kokomo Opalescent Glass, and he used to sit there and watch him run the marbles. And he said there was a long chute and it had 4 different sizes in it. The small marbles dropped in the first ones and the little bigger ones dropped in the second, and they all fell into a barrel.
So he knew for sure that there was 3/4 inch size.
Yeah, that was their size sorting machine. Just a board with holes in it.
Yep.
Here's the yellows with the browns.
I like having the slag to match up with it so that you can actually
right.
It was done here.
Yeah, this is dug from the grounds. It matches right up to the marbles. And that's a unique color combination, that brown and yellow.
Oh yes. It's a mustardy.
Yeah, mustardy. And some of the patterns on these mustard and browns can be pretty variable. And upon your first encounter with them, they could be mistaken for marble kings, masters, or even vitros. But the yellow glass on them is likely to glow a bright orange under UV light. You've got a lot of the reds in here that they call lipstick red, right?
This one's not round.
Right.
I mean, you can tell it's one of the dug ones. So the collars are really, there's that lipstick.
Yeah, it was discarded.
And they also, they did make that orange as well. This is a real good example of that orange on one side with the green.
A little slice of green there.
And then there's that red lipstick red on the other side.
Here's a cool example of the bubbles or the seediness.
Yes. Oops. And it's not that clear red. It's more of an orange.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes muddy.
Yeah. There's different colors of the lipstick. Look at this one. And that there are different shades of it.
And then when you go to this, that's
kind of back that off a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Kind of like striped of the orange, the red.
Yeah. Yeah. There's different flavors of red. Here's one that's super bold.
Yep.
And they will have the blowholes.
Oh, right? So many of them do.
Here's a running gallery of the famous Kokomo lipstick reds. The bands on these marbles are no doubt made from scratch with their own batch glass. And the base glass is generally thought to be made from their leftover stained sheet glass. They produce very loud, recognizable shades of reds, in different shades from fuchsia to pink to coral to orange. Here's one with some stringiness to it. That's a pretty marble. Bubbly clear with red and some thread-like white bands in it. So
and we do know that the Peltier makers came over here, used some of their glass. They used some of our glass to practice with. So of course it would make sense that it's going to be tough to tell the difference in some of them.
Right. Same raw materials, same machine that they bought.
Exactly.
And same time frame.
And there's so many rainbows.
Right.
Like this one. But when you shine a light through these, you can tell that seedy glass is really bad. It's really seedy.
Yeah.
They never got that right. And it's very opalescent. So
that seedy glass is a little darker, but to me it appears like the bubbles are darker.
Yeah, and the early ones are it's stringy as well as bubbly. The bubbles kind of string out as well as.
Right, and the bubbles are a little larger than the Peltier.
Correct.
Yeah, these are the rainbows that are not reliably always separable from Peltier.
When we know that they've had them dug by the either the diggers or the we have a lot of people that we buy them from and say, you know, older people that say, my grandparents used to take their wagons, go down to the dump, fill them up with the marbles and bring them down because they weren't pretty, you know, they just weren't that great. So we've gotten quite a few that way.
Have you gotten any from old timers that were employees, those kind of?
We actually found out that his grandfather and great uncle used to work at the factory. That was really nice to know.
In this section of the video, we sort through the premier bubbly amber-based Kokomo examples, which are regarded by many as their finest and most collectible marbles. Oh yeah, here's with green and blue. Oh, that's awesome. Are you kidding me with this one?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice. These fancy baby blue and light greens will typically show a series of parallel bands that meet at the seams. And here they are with a red and white example with a similar pattern. Yeah, so this is the transparent.
Yeah, that yellow, mustard.
Bold mustard and red.
And that's the one that I found from an estate.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that it was an experimental run.
Oh.
Because we had never seen any, and I found one that was dug.
Okay.
And so I know for a fact that it was made.
Yeah, you got another example here.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't see these much at all. You don't see any Kokomos much at all. Oh, these are awesome with that amber base and the orange and red. Bold orange and bold red. Here's one that has less coverage. The unmistakable orange and reds have some of the loudest glass colors in all the vintage marbles kingdom. And they're every bit as striking as the early Peltiers and the Christensen agates. These, right? And they're really hard to find.
We went.
Yeah, you got quite a handful of them.
I was still so unsure of those when I cataloged them, and I cataloged them as rare Kokomos or Vitros because the color I just knew. And when I went to the next show, Chuck Brandstetter was there, and I said, Chuck, I got something to show you. And he looked at those and he goes, oh my gosh, those are Kokomos.
Oh, cool.
And I said, they are. And I said, I really believe that. He said, oh my gosh. He said, that's the one of the rarer ones I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great group.
Well,
Keep an eye on those until we're done filming.
I left him alone with a guy in a room in Gatlinburg last year, and he sold quite a few to him. He made him pay for them, but he did sell them to him, and I was like, oh no, we'll never get any more of those.
Wow, you let go of a few, huh?
He did.
That happens. At least you live in town, right?
Yeah, right. If we're going to find any, we'll find them.
Right. We're finishing out the bubbly amber-based varieties with the slightly more common opaque red patch types. And here's the lipstick and white varieties. And I wouldn't doubt it if there are other color combinations that have yet to be rediscovered by collectors.
There was a gentleman, now see this one, if that wasn't if it was round, this one right here, I would think that was probably a not a Kokomo, but a Peltier. Just looking at it. Turn it over, that glass is so seedy.
There we go.
And it's flattened out. It was dug.
Yeah.
So I know that was a Kokomo. And it was probably made during the time that we had just got the machines and they were trying to experiment with their glass and our glass.
Seeing if they can make the bird fly. Oh, here's one with the transparent blue. Oh, is it? Yeah, kind of blue. This is actually stained glass, right?
And that's the typical example of the red and the blue that's in the solid colors, but yet you got the clear glass in it too.
Yeah, that's really hard to find. And here's just a really bright white, really flashy glass on there. This one is a rock star with this dark cobalt blue.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and that red. That's awesome. That's about 7/8 of an inch. Yikes. Here's a double ingot that's similar with that color.
That was an exciting find. I don't care. I think it's got a little chip on. I don't care.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, and here's some with that baby blue and brownish, right?
There's that.
Yeah.
I can tell some of the different colors that's in it.
Discard. Baby blue and dark blue. Beautiful marble.
And they
Oh,
even,
that
I mean, they
one's
even did it with the
transparent.
green with
Oh, cool.
again, damaged, but
Right.
that just shows you they was dug around here. Not gonna find them. I don't think you're
I
gonna
love
find them
it.
out in the wild.
This one is transparent with some opaque light green. It's not something you see every day for Kokomo. This is also nice. Perfectly round 3/4 inch marble. It's a good group of them there.
So goes the idea that you can't make a Kokomo 3/4 inch.
Oh yeah, that's some
The one
seediness.
side you look at it and it goes, no, that's a Peltier. The other side you look at it, nope, it's a Kokomo.
Here's that little patch there. You know, I noticed with some of these with that really bright white, you see them in the
Yes.
in the grays. That white glass will also fluoresce. Here's
Yes.
one here.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and
That
2 of them,
white will glow,
two
just
of
like
them,
the gray does.
2 of them are flattened out,
Uh-huh.
and then the other one was normal. Let me see if I got the
There's your typical blue and red on
Greg.
gray.
Can you hold that?
What Beth has on display in the white tray are the steel gray examples that are exclusive to Kokomo. These marbles usually measure in at about 9/16 of an inch, and we'll dig a little further into these in the part 2 video.
Most of those in there glow. I think they all do.
What is the percentage of those that glow with that Confederate gray color? Because not all of them do.
No, they
right?
don't. They don't. I'd
Well,
probably say about half and half.
At least half, I would
Yeah.
think.
Half and half of all of the Kokomo.
Right.
That almost doesn't look like a one, but the
Yeah.
colors are just so vibrant.
And that
Red
appears
and
to have a
you get into
transparent green
Yep,
base.
the colors in it.
Yeah, that's great.
This is another.
These are cool that have that just sort of custard, base that is translucent.
But these,
Oh yeah, here's your green and reds.
the clear
Yeah,
base.
they're cool. So that's stained. Would you call that stained? How would you describe that, Ray?
It's from stained opalescence.
Mm-hmm.
And you can really see the bubbles. There's always a patch of the bubbly glass in those. Then you've got that really, really red again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like this, we don't have a whole lot of those. They must not have.
Right, and they're sort of like the sister to these, with the amber base.
And this was another one. I mean, you look at it, you see Peltier, but look at that bubble. People say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's the bubbly Peltiers." I don't think so. I think that's just when they could not get the Kokomo glass to run.
Mm-hmm. Here's one with just a little patch, and then it's
And we like that. We always call that the lips.
the lips. Yeah,
A lot of them have the lips.
yeah. A lot of the neat ones do.
Yep.
I think it's a cool little pattern. I guess you can see that. You'll see that, of course, with vitro, but
Yeah,
these
you
are
do-
also neat. This
You do find those in
mustard and
vitros.
brown. Oh,
I like-
that's a cool marble. Oh yeah, I got good close-ups.
It's got some blue on it, like the blues. It probably should have been in my blue box, but
Right.
I like this one right here. That's my favorite.
This one.
Yeah, I just love that.
Yeah, that's super duper.
And I wouldn't have even thought of that being a Kokomo because the structure of it, but right beside it, it's a piece of slag. It's exactly the right color.
Yeah. Yep. Double ingot there. Here's one with 3 colors. But here's some of that orange. Oh, and this is unusual.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I actually found, when we were looking for some, I found that one. I thought, I don't know if it's Kokomo. And I turned it over and it was clearly it was.
Yeah, you picked it out. Well, cool beans. I've seen a few of these where it just condenses and compresses, and then the color stretches out, and then it condenses again a little bit. I see that in Kokomo, and I don't see that in Peltier. Here's another one where you see that color really gets compressed in there. And I don't know, sometimes you see it around the seams, and then you'll see where it gets kind of wrinkled. It doesn't always, you know, roll right.
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 CD glass.
You're just gonna call those, you refer to those as the rainbow types, right?
Yep.
Wow. So this dark color, is that you call that a black there, or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, you see that happening here and there. It's an unusual.
I don't believe that it's
for
a
Kokomo, but you do see them with that
it's
black.
not a see-through. You know, sometimes see-through lines will cause it to look black, but it doesn't you can't shine it through it.
That's nice. That one actually has a little white in it. Well, Beth, thank you so much for sharing all this cool Kokomo stuff. And we'll put together something special for everyone to view. If you like this video or learned something new, please give it a like, and I hope to see you in the Kokomo Identifications Part 2. Thanks for watching.